co-founded a startup during one of the most difficult times of my life, and I want to tell you all about it. Specifically, I want to go over where the idea came from, what allowed me to pursue this opportunity right now, and where the business currently stands. If you're new here, I'm Nikki. This is not my normal content. I haven't posted in a while because I actually wanted to take a break from having the extra work of YouTube in my life. And then I founded a business. So, that clearly went well. And now that's taking up most of my time. If you're interested in hearing more about startup things, then I can try to make more time for it. So let me know if this is interesting. So let's get into the idea. If you've watched anything on my channel, you may know that I've been through the ringer with IVF. I've been through 4 IVF cycles, most of which are actually documented in YouTube videos on my channel, if you're curious. And I have been very open about that with a lot of people in my life, including my coworkers. By sharing so much with my coworkers, I discovered that a friend from work had actually been through something similar. Her journey with IVF looks very different than mine, but she has also been through it. And one day we were catching up over lunch when she was in town, and we realized we both were super frustrated with the lack of support in the IVF space, particularly with just like having an app that we felt like worked really well and met our needs for reminding us to take medications, managing med inventory, just kind of keeping track of everything throughout the whole cycle. And as we were complaining that we wished that something better was out there, we started talking about why don't we just build it? For context, I work in product management. My friend works in software engineering, and we realized we could totally build a business and build an app that does exactly what we're looking for. So why not? Now, building a business from the ground up is not an easy thing, especially when you're creating something from scratch like this, right? Now, I want to talk about what actually allowed us to pursue this. So first and foremost, my friend and I had the right experience in 2 different ways. We've both been on the patient end of IVF, so we understand what the struggles are firsthand, and we have relevant experience in this space. My day job is all about figuring out what problems are worth solving for our customers and making sure that we can prioritize and execute on them. So I knew that I could get into this business and be successful. Second enabler is timing. So there's a lot of things going on in the IVF space right now. More people are pursuing IVF than ever. In fact, the market has doubled in the last 10 years, which is pretty much unheard of. There's a lot of legislation happening around IVF. California is now mandating that insurance covers IVF. And the White House recently announced that they are trying to do more to make it more accessible to more people. And recently, a competitor app shut down. And so their users are looking for a new app to support their IVF journey. So we wanted to be able to move really fast. And again, there was this kind of sweet spot of a lot of interest in IVF that we wanted to take advantage of. A third enabler was our ability to self-fund, at least initially. So my co-founder and I make a good amount of money at our day jobs. We were able to set a lot of money aside. We had been investing for other things, but we had money that we could pull from to actually get the business up and running, invest in getting developers to actually build out the app and do everything else that we need to do. And the fourth enabler was our families. Both of our husbands are incredibly supportive of the business idea and with us putting our own money in to get it off the ground. And also, because we're both parents, both of them have also created more flexibility in their schedules to allow us to put the time and energy towards the business, which is of course challenging. We are still working our day jobs and there is no plan to leave them right now. So having that support to be able to pursue this on like nights and weekends is really important. Now I want to talk a little bit about my co-founder because I've heard it's really important to have the right co-founder. And so far, mine has been wonderful. We have different strengths and different experience that has worked to our favor. So for example, she is someone that is very go, 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 willing to kind of like pursue any opportunity that seems right. And she keeps us moving like a freight train. Whereas I tend to be a lot more narrowly focused. And I think I'm really good at making sure that we pursue the right things. That's something that I do in my day job all the time. So where she provides a lot of the momentum, I provide the strategic focus. And that has worked really well together because it ensures that we're always moving in the right direction. Also, she's able to make quick decisions on the technology side that I would have to like deeply research to figure out if we're going down the right path. And I am able to do the same thing more on the user experience side. Like I can make a quick decision. I know something is a two-way door. I'm not going to be overly concerned. And so I can make a quick decision because again, I do it in my day job. She's also a lot more familiar with setting up a business because she's had a few in different spaces, but still there's some legal overhead that she's more familiar with than I am. And also she has a background with working more closely to legal than I do. And then also on the social media side, while she has a business with a very sizable social media following, she's not typically camera facing. Whereas I have done the YouTube thing for 3 years with, not a crazy amount of success, but I've done it enough where I'm very comfortable speaking in front of a camera, which is its own skill set. And that has helped us reach quite a large audience on TikTok. We may not have a ton of subscribers yet. We are nearing the 400 mark right now, but our views are pretty consistently around 1,000 per video. And sometimes we get up closer to like 8 to 10. So I think it's gone really well. We've built up a list of 150 women that want to beta test the app, which we're hoping to do in the next couple of weeks. And we are rapidly approaching what will hopefully be a Q1 launch of the app. So far, starting this business has been really cool and really fun. It's also been really stressful, if I'm just being completely honest. The reality is, while I've done product management before, I've never started my own business. I've never put tens of thousands of dollars of my own money on the line for something like this. And that is scary. You don't know if you're going to get it back. You don't know how successful things are going to be. I have faith that it will be successful because I've talked to a lot of women. I know that there's a need for this. However, at the end of the day, things could flop. But what I keep coming back to is I'm learning so much in just the hours that I get to put into the Embraya business that I know is going to take me far in, my career in general if this doesn't work out. But I really want it to work out. It's tough because there's never going to be enough time in the day to do all of the things. It's especially apparent with family life because I do feel like I haven't lost the time with my daughter, but I've lost more time with my husband recently. And again, he's been extremely supportive and wonderful throughout everything, but I do want to make sure that I do get that time back. For me, success with this business means being able to buy back some of my time. I'm hoping that long-term, this will help us retire earlier and be able to spend more time together and things like that. And right now, in the short term, it's not that. I think if we are able to work hard, keep our eyes on the prize of, change that we're trying to bring to the industry, who our target customers are, everything like that, I think we can make it all happen. But it is quite the journey and it has been tiring. This is probably the era of my life where I've slept the least outside of like having a newborn, just because I end up getting excited about something at 11 p.m. and then all of a sudden it's 1 a.m. and I really need to go to bed, but I was like on a roll with something. Or I'll lay awake at night thinking about Embraya stuff. And one thing that my husband pointed out was just because you're not on a keyboard working, when you're laying in bed and you're thinking about everything and like what you're going to do next, like that is still work. And so I find that I'm working, feels like constantly. I know it's not truly constantly, but it's a lot more than I'm used to. I am someone that has always prided myself on pretty healthy work boundaries. But right now, I just don't have the same healthy boundaries that I used to. I think I will get there and figure it out. But right now, it's been more challenging than it ever has been. But again, I think that it will be worth it in the long run. So in terms of where we're at right now, we're planning to beta test the app in December. If you are interested in being a beta tester for this IVF support app, I will put a link to the Facebook group where we're co-locating everyone in the description below. Feel free to request to join. We want as much feedback as we can get out the gate, and we want people to truly love the app. And we're aiming to launch the app as early as possible in Q1. It's going to depend on beta feedback though. And depending on how things go, we may be taking on some investors in early 26. We are still working all of that out, but it's an exciting time. It's an exciting, exhausting, terrifying time. But easily the feeling that I would say I have the most is excitement. Hey guys, it's Nikki from the future. I am sick. That's why I sound like this. So as I was editing, I realized I never really touched on the why it was one of the hardest times of my life. So in a very short period of time, I found out that we had a failed embryo transfer. One of my cats had cancer. We needed to pursue surrogacy for IVF. We had a long, drawn-out process with the cat that had cancer. He ultimately ended up passing away from something that wasn't cancer. And then we lost our other cat a couple months later from something unrelated. You might have heard a little squeak because we have since gotten a new cat. But overall, it has been a lot to process in a very short period of time. And all of those things really started happening right after we decided to start this business. It would have been pretty easy to look at everything and say, this is not a good time. But the business was actually a really nice escape from everything else that was happening. And I found myself really enjoying it. So even though it truly has been some of the hardest months of my life, this is definitely the worst year of my life, I would say. It almost reaffirms that this is the right thing to pursue, because if I can pursue it during this time of my life, then, during a good time, then who knows what we can accomplish. If you're interested in hearing more about what it's like to be a founder of a business, let me know. I'm happy to answer more questions. I think if you've ever seen my channel, I'm a pretty open book. I'm happy to share what I can about the business and what it's been like. But yeah, it had just been a minute, and I thought that this was a fun era of my life that not everyone gets to experience, and I thought it would be cool to share it with you guys. Also, like and subscribe, and hopefully I can make more videos like this in the future. Thanks.